let's turn it now to Matthew Dowd, who's an ABC News political consultant. Did I get your title right?
There's various things you could say.
Yes. Well, you have prepped in the past vice presidential candidates for these debates. If you had Mitt Romney, if you were within his sphere of influence, what would you be telling him to do tonight?
Well, he has to be aggressive without being mean. And if I were using one word that I think that I would try to use over and over and over again if I were Mitt Romney, which I would use accountability. I would basically say elections are about holding you accountable for your record. Mr. President, you try to deflect from your record. Let's go through that record, and this is what this election is about, is whether or not you should be held accountable for the record you have. I would be using accountable a lot.
And how about the reaction on defense? We've talked a lot about how Romney needs to go on the offense, but don't you have to really script and practice being on the defensive without looking like you're defensive?
Well, I actually think both of them have to do that, but I think you're apt to see a Romney offense and compared to a Baltimore Ravens President Obama defense. And I think this is as much pressure on the president as it is on Mitt Romney, because when you have a lead, and I was there and working for George Bush in 2004, when you have a lead and then you don't perform well, you lose that lead, it drastically affects your whole campaign and everything involved, because you basically sit on a lead and you say, if we do well, we're going to put this thing away. So the pressure and the ability to go on defense that I think the president has to do and stay calm, cool, collected, while being assertive, I think is equal to what Mitt Romney has to do.
But some have said that actually what Mr. Obama needs to do tonight is just not make a big mistake, because he does have the lead. And Romney's got this, as you said, this really tricky balance of having to draw a contrast while coming across as somebody who connects with people. You've used the term the 3 C's.
Yeah,
talk about that a little bit.
Compassion, competence, and connection. And I think that's actually how Mitt Romney will be judged in this debate, and to a degree how the president will be judged in this debate. I think one of the things that we're going to look at a lot is the camera shots when Mitt Romney is aggressive and assertive and attacks the president on his record. What is the president's facial reaction, mannerisms in the course of that reaction? And a lot of that will tell us a lot about what's going to happen in this debate and whether somebody gets a bump out of this debate.
So let's talk about what you did in your role in managing the spin, because that's almost as important as managing the debate. Look, a lot of people are going to watch this debate tonight, there's no doubt about it, but there are a whole bunch of people who are not going to watch it, and the only way they're going to know what happened is they're going to either watch the news, hopefully ours, or
they
Saturday
will
Night
watch
Live.
Good Morning America.
They will watch Good Morning America for sure, and they'll see Saturday Night Live, they'll see Jon Stewart. So how do you make sure that your candidate comes out as well in that medium as they did actually on the stage?
Which actually, in the end, the importance of this, the 3 days conversation that happened post tonight. Tonight is extremely important, 60 million or so people watching this, but actually a lot of people are going to get their information in the 3 days following. One of the things that I think people misconstrue is that you can only spin if you have something to spin. And I remember in 2004, I was getting ready to go out there and spin. Bush lost badly. We all knew it, and I was like, there's no way to spin this deal, so we better just get on to the next one as quick as we can and say, okay, he showed up, he was gone, and get out of there. You can only spin if there's a moment that allows you to spin, and the best thing that allows you to spin is if it's a moment that feeds something you've already been talking about. So if Mitt Romney looks disconnected, if Mitt Romney doesn't look compassionate, you can spin that. Or if the president looks somewhat aloof and all that, you can spin that. But if there's not those moments that feed it, you can't really spin something out of nothing.
Is the stage set for a Mitt Romney comeback narrative when we talk about how the media is going to deal with this over the next 3 days? The story for weeks now has been Romney's lagging, Romney's lagging. Doesn't the media love a comeback story, and won't there be sort of an eye to those moments where he looks strong tonight?
America loves a comeback story. We
yes.
all love a comeback story. There would be nothing more than what over the next 32 days that we sort of now go into a new phase where Mitt Romney is competitive. He might take a lead. I actually think what's going to happen is that's actually going to happen out from tonight. I think that absent some major error by Mitt Romney, he is going to get some level of bump out of this debate. And this race is going to go from whatever it is today, a 3 or 4 point race, to probably an even race by this weekend. I would guess that's going to happen because, as we've all talked about, the challenger by standing next to the President of the United States automatically is elevated to a different level than he was before tonight. And when that happens, for those few people that are left that are still switching back and forth, he'll probably get a bump out of it. The question then becomes, does he have something to use out of this to sustain himself for the next 30 days and keep that bump? And that is a question we obviously don't know. It has to be substantive tonight and not just ethereal that it only lasts briefly.
Matt, thank you.